Sister banned me from the trip I paid for, so I canceled her ticket and went for the family trip without her. I, 29-year-old male, come from a relatively close-knit family. We are 3 siblings. My younger brother, 26 male, and my younger sister, Bonnie, 24 female. I share a good bond with my brother, but I've always had a bit of a rocky relationship with Bonnie. It's not that we don't get along, but she's always been a bit entitled. Growing up, our parents tended to favor her slightly because she was the baby of the family. While I've tried to let it slide, there have been instances where her behavior has really tested my patience. Not only me, but my brother also faces the same issue with her. His patience runs thinner than mine, so every time they are in the same room, there would be a scuffle between them. Earlier this year, I received a beefy bonus at work. My parents' anniversary was around the corner, and I thought it would be a great idea to treat my family to a nice vacation. It had been years since we all went somewhere together, and I thought it would be a fantastic way to reconnect and celebrate our parents' anniversary. I planned a week-long trip to Hawaii, covering all expenses, flights, accommodations, activities, everything. Hawaii was the place my parents went for their honeymoon, so nothing better than giving them the opportunity to reminisce about their younger days. When I announced the trip to my parents, they were over the moon. I knew they would be delighted, especially because of the location. I was confident that my brother would also appreciate my gesture. I was only apprehensive about Bonnie's reaction. It's hard to predict her mood. However, on hearing about the trip, both of them jumped in excitement, especially Bonnie. She started ranting about everything she wanted to do in the Instagram reel she'd make. I shrugged it off, happy that she was excited. Everyone seemed thrilled, and I was glad I could do something nice for my family. However, that moment of happiness soon turned bitter when Bonnie started nagging that she wanted to plan the vacation. I told her the trip was sponsored by me, so I wanted to plan everything myself. She threw tantrums about it, saying I was not good at planning stuff, so I should hand over the responsibility to her. It was not an ask from her, but more of a demand that I pass down everything to her. There were a couple of reasons I wanted to do it myself. First, it was my treat. Second, I know Bonnie's extravagant choices when others are paying for them. She would book the costliest stuff without thinking twice. I had booked everything as per my budget. Yeah, man, she has this thing. If someone takes her out, she would order the most premium dish on the menu. On the other hand, her treat is a takeaway from Subway. My parents tried to mediate, suggesting that if I was busy, I could take Bonnie's help in planning the activities. I told everyone that the activities were a surprise to keep them on their toes. Bonnie insisted on knowing them prior so that they could go shopping for appropriate outfits for the activities. I assured her there was nothing that would catch her off guard. I arranged for a few surprises during the trip, like a private luau and a snorkeling adventure. It was going to be epic. The weeks leading up to the trip were exciting and tiring. I had to shop for everything. I went on a shopping spree with my brother, whereas Bonnie was running a shopping marathon. However, as the dates came closer, her nagging became persistent. She was upset that I hadn't let her plan it. She felt left out and accused me of trying to upstage her. She annoyed me to the point where I gave her the itinerary of the trip to get her off my back. She immediately called me and was furious. She pointed out a few things that should be rearranged to make everyone feel comfortable. Her suggestion sounded legitimate, so I moved the schedule as per her recommendation, and that boosted her ego. She was like, "That's the reason I wanted to plan it. Attention to detail, you see." This made me wonder that if there was the slightest inconvenience in the trip, Bonnie would come behind me with her sarcastic comments. So better let her take this over. I gave her access to my account to make any changes. I told her not to make any major changes in the schedule and no addition or removal of activities. She could only reschedule it, and that too only after my approval. She agreed. She immediately announced in the family group that she had taken over the planning for the trip and made some changes. A few additions she did were pretty cool, like we all were matching outfits each day. It was fine until then. A week before the trip, I saw that she had canceled some of the activities I booked and replaced them with ones she preferred. She also mentioned that she had made executive decisions regarding the itinerary and that everyone should follow her lead. I was livid. This was supposed to be a gift from me, and she had completely hijacked it. I called her, trying to reason with her, but she was adamant. She said that since she was better at planning, I should let her handle it. I stood firm on my ground and said, no way. She had done enough to sabotage my plan, and now she should back off. She accused me of being controlling and hung up. That night, I received a call from my parents. Bonnie told on me, and they wanted to know what was going on. I explained the situation on a surface level to not spoil the surprise activities for them. I expected them to understand. To my shock, they sided with Bonnie. They said that since she was so excited about the trip, I should let her have some control over it. They didn't seem to grasp that she had completely taken over and disregarded my efforts and money. They said it doesn't matter who was planning for it and who was paying. The fact is, we are family and we should have the best time together in Hawaii. I felt frustrated and unappreciated. In a moment of rage, I wanted to cancel the whole trip, but I calmed down and took a step back. I didn't cancel the trip, but I stopped engaging with the planning. I figured if Bonnie wanted to be in charge so badly, let her handle it. I can sit back and enjoy myself, even if it wasn't the trip I envisioned. However, things took a turn for the worse 2 days ago. We are set to leave tomorrow. I received a notification that my tickets had been canceled successfully. I was like, what the hell? I immediately called up the airline and got to know that it was canceled from my account, so there's nothing they can do about it. No surprise it was Bonnie. I called her in anger. She answered as if nothing had happened. Update, I yelled. How dare you cancel my tickets? She chuckled and responded, oh yeah, I did that. Isn't that funny? Haha. I lost my crap and shouted, care to explain? She replied, okay, I hate to say this. I know you were funding it and blah blah blah, but we can't have you on the trip, dude. You're too controlling and your negative attitude would ruin the vacation for everyone. I have discussed this with everyone and the family has agreed to dump you. You are not worth spoiling our trip. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. The trip that I had paid for and planned was now happening without me. My sister had somehow convinced everyone that I was the problem, and they had all agreed to go along with it. At that moment, something in me snapped. I wasn't going to let her walk all over me. I logged into my account and canceled her ticket. I then rebooked it in my name and changed the password of the account so that she could not access it anymore or make any changes to the travel itinerary. I sent the message to the family group chat. Since Bonnie has decided I'm not welcome on the trip I paid for, I've canceled her ticket. If any of you want to stay with her, I'll be happy to cancel your tickets too. The fallout was immediate. My brother called me immediately and said he had no idea about Bonnie's move. I narrated the discussion I had with her, and he confirmed that she was making it up. He assured me that he had never agreed to dump me and was pretty sure that our parents would never ban me from the trip I was paying for. It was a relief to know that at least he was not turning a blind eye to Bonnie's evilness. While I was still talking to him, my parents called me, furious that I had canceled Bonnie's ticket. They accused me of being petty and vindictive, but I stood my ground. I explained that I had planned and paid for the trip as a gift to the family, and if they didn't want me there, then I better take a solo trip, but I wouldn't give away this as charity and sacrifice myself. They confirmed they never asked Bonnie to cancel my tickets, but they are also not thrilled that I canceled hers. They want us all to go together for this trip. I told them I wasn't going to let her dictate the terms of my generosity. Bonnie, of course, was beside herself with rage. She sent me a barrage of angry texts, calling me every name under the sun. I forwarded the text to my parents to show them what their little monster was up to. My dad called me and volunteered to mediate the situation between us. He said he would loop in Bonnie in the call and she would apologize to me and I should rebook her ticket so that we can have the vacation together. I wanted to push back at this demand, but a part of me knew that Bonnie would never apologize. So I just said yes to my dad's proposal. He added Bonnie to the call. She was too angry to sense it was a conference call. Dad told her she had acted mean by canceling my tickets and that she should apologize to me before listening any further. She snapped at Dad and said she wouldn't apologize because she did the right thing. We both could hear her sigh, apologize to that jerk. Dad hung up the call. He had nothing to say after that. I called him back and said, do you now see how cruel your daughter is, or do you still want me to take her? He remained silent and said he was torn between two children. I know I have done the right thing, but I do feel sad that the trip would not be the same after this fallout. This was not how I wanted it. I envisioned this to be a family trip, and no matter what I feel about Bonnie, she is still part of the family. My brother and I might not be affected, but my parents would definitely be bothered by her absence. Thanks for listening.